Hello?
The fuck are you doing?
Nothing. The fuck are you doing?
Nothing. You just said fuck.
Well, shit.
Oh, hold on. My stupid battery. Okay, well, I'm going to record until the battery dies. So this might just abruptly end on you, and then I'll have to charge for a second, call you back.
Alright.
I said, okay, bye.
Jello.
Jello. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Let me just get my screen situated here. God damn it.
Gets me back with a bad new break.
Oh my god, Andrew. Oh my god, Andrew. Okay. Welcome to Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories, the podcast that shines a light on ordinary people and their extraordinary stories. From small towns to big cities, we're sharing the real, raw, and inspiring moments that connect us all. Because every voice matters, every story counts. This is Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. Welcome back, everybody. I see you. I know what you're here for. You're here for another story from an ordinary Joe. Well, guess what? I told you last week that we'd be back with one, and I did not fail to deliver. Today's is epic. This is 3/4 of my brothers as of today. So let's just jump right into it. Welcome, my little brother Fabian Emmanuel Christopher Copelin-Brown.
Why you gotta say my whole government name like that?
That's how we roll on this bitch. So Fabian and I know each other because we were brothers.
Never met him before in my life.
I'm gonna start this the same way I started with Derek, and I'm gonna ask you the question that I asked Derek at first. Tell me about when Brandon passed away. How that affected you?
I mean, when Brandon passed away, that was pretty much devastating for all of us. Initially, I barely reacted because I was trying to stay strong for the family, and then it all hit me at his memorial, like everything all at once. I couldn't even speak at his memorial because it just overwhelmed me.
That's wild.
After that is just trying to live as much as I could in the moment. I kind of lost track of that since, but
No.
it
Well,
gradually got
life
easier to.
life happens, so we get it. Brandon was, excuse me. Brandon was closer, I would say, to me and Derek than you, but not like by leaps and bounds or anything. That's not to talk down on or what is that word? God, I can never words when I get bro. I have all these intelligent words in my head that mean shit, and then I get on the podcast and I'm like, fuck, I forgot all of them. I'm like, I like turtles. That's all I can come up with when I'm on the podcast is I like turtles. Not to degrade, to simplify your relationship with Brandon, but because he did, he did care about all of us. It was just, I think, because you were of the non-drug doing, we got a little extra time with him because of the love of weed. So that was, but to that note, you guys did share a lot of commonality with basketball, with video games, Pokemon, a lot of different things. So,
Yeah.
what are things that you and Brandon would do together that you wouldn't do with, say, myself or Derek?
I mean, most of the stuff that I was able to do with Brandon, I was also able to do with Derek. But towards the end of his life, we were starting to work out together, which me and Derek never did.
Oh, that's wild. I didn't know you ever worked out.
Yeah, it wasn't much. It was like the last few months of his life
Wow.
before his passing.
Wow, look at
And
you.
I would also like sleep in his room more often when I was at Dad's house.
That's wild.
So
Interesting.
we were
Okay.
getting a lot closer.
That's quite unfortunate. But like I told Derek, the sad reality of it is Brandon's passing kind of brought all of us closer together because there was, excuse me, because of our age gap, there was sort of I don't know, maybe a separation via through time, um, where I was that older guy who was just interested in partying and hanging out with friends, and you guys were just my little brothers. And so we didn't spend a lot of quality time. That didn't mean also that I didn't feel the same way that Brandon felt about you, my little brothers. But it also didn't mean that I wanted to take you out and go partying with you either. So, but once Brandon passed, we got extremely close, and you also got close with Sarah at that time, which is fortunate. I'm appreciative of that. And we've had
Yeah.
some fucking adventures, which we will talk about. Um, but first, I want to dive into. Let's talk about our childhood a little bit. We were poorer than a motherfucker, and we
Yeah.
lived in a tiny little mobile home for most of our life. Well, you can call it a camper prior to the mobile home, right? Do you remember our little tiny room that the four of us shared, and our bunk bed and our chest of drawers was basically all that fit in that room?
Yep.
Playing fucking Nintendo for hours and hours. One of Sarah's favorite stories is, do you recall when we made Honey Nut Cheerios out of regular Cheerios and honey?
I mean, we did that all the time.
No, but do you remember the big one where we fucking did it on the bed?
Vaguely, barely. That was
Well, that's wild because we
beginning
fucking
of my
slept on
pregnancy.
it. I'll
Yeah.
just tell you what I remember is we put a whole box of fucking Cheerios on the bare bed and then poured honey all over it, all over the Cheerios, and mixed them up with our hands, ate what we could, and then just covered it with a sheet and slept on it for who knows how fucking long. But I remember peeling the sheet off afterwards, and it was horrible. We were fucking crazy kids. We did some dumb shit.
I mean, to be fair, that camper after a while was pretty nasty.
It really was,
Not
dude.
just from us.
No. That's yeah. All the Cheerios aside, that we four boys in a tiny little camper for years is fucking wild. Um,
Yeah.
do you remember the incident? Show me. Get your thumb up close to the camera. Give me a 360 of your thumb. For those of you with the audio podcast, you're gonna have to tune in to see this, but Fabian has a massive gnarly scar around his thumb. Tell me about that, Fabian. Do you tell me what you remember specifically?
I don't remember anything about that day, luckily for me.
Wow. Okay. So another one that I'm gonna have to talk through, but Fabian. Okay, we grew up at the Downs. My dad was a horse trainer. One day, I don't know, he was busy. My mom was laying down or something, and she told me to keep an eye on my brothers. Well, I fucking, being the oldest, didn't want to. We wanted to have fun. And Fabian was in diapers crawling, which is, explains why you don't remember it. Um, we turned on the walker. Me and Brandon were sitting in the halters for the horses on the ends of the walker, and we were riding around in circles. And of course, I was not paying attention to little Fabian. And what does Fabian decide he wants to do? He's going to go check out the motor. He's going to get engineering experience. And so he crawls to the motor of the walker and sticks his fucking thumb in the fan belt, which gets sucked through the pulley and basically chops it in half. So he started crying. I jumped off and I was like, yeah, what are you crying about now? I went over there and I just saw his thumb pouring blood, and I was like, oh, fuck, I'm in trouble. So I ran to my dad and I was like, there's something wrong with Fabian's thumb. And my dad's like, what do you mean? And I said, it's fucking bleeding and there's something wrong with it. So they went and picked you up. And of course, they're like, fuck, we got to go to the hospital now. And, we're poor as shit. We don't have money for hospital bills and whatnot. But um, we jumped in the truck to take you to the hospital. And this happened in Santa Fe. So at the Santa Fe Downs. And we were going to St. Vincent's. And I remember uh, because it was a single cab Ford, I was sitting in the middle between mom holding you, uh, Brandon was next to me, mom holding you at the door, and then dad driving, and I was just shut the fuck up, didn't say shit, and uh, in between shifts, dad got super irritated and kind of elbowed me, not like trying to fucking intentionally beat the shit out of me, but hard enough that I would get the hint that he was upset. And I had a loose tooth in the front, and I knocked it out. And I remember telling him, "Hey, you knocked out my tooth," and he's like, "Yeah, you're lucky I don't knock off your head." And I was like, "Damn, I'll just shut the fuck up right now." But so you developed quite a gnarly little scar there, and now you have this deformed thumb, and it's a reminder to me that I wasn't watching you every time. Love it. Don't love it. Don't love it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember the metal cast that I had around it until I was probably 6 or 7.
Jeez. Oh man, you 6 or 7 metal cat. What the fuck
Yeah,
are you talking about?
they have those little metal casts that they have
Oh, like a
or sell at
splint.
Walgreens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a splint. Why were you wearing that?
I guess to protect it,
The fuck?
because mom was most likely afraid that I was going to get more damaged.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty ugly. It was hanging on. Like, it literally was hanging by some skin. It was fucking nasty.
I think I kept cutting it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you remember, bro, I should have just done this podcast by myself. All this shit happened to you when you're too young to fucking remember. Do you remember being in UNM Children's Hospital?
For my appendicitis?
Yeah.
No. That was
Okay, well,
before I was 2 years old, man.
I don't remember all of the detail. I think you were 2 already. I don't know.
I was 18 months or something.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I do remember because I never actually went to visit you in that hospital. Um, Again, mom and dad never took us. We were poor. Fucking no wonder we were poor because Fabian was eating up all the money in his hospital visits. Um, you had appendicitis in Santa Fe. They took you to the hospital and they're like, "No, there's nothing wrong with him." Sent you home. You got worse overnight. Took you back, high fever, just fucked up. They're like, "Well, I don't know, something's wrong, but we can't figure out what." And they were gonna send you home again, and mom was like, "No, please look again," or I don't know, something like that. And they looked again. They're like, "Oh shit, his appendix ruptured. We got to get this kid to surgery." And so then I think they flew you, if I'm not mistaken, or took you in by ambulance, but they drove you down to Albuquerque to the Children's Hospital, where you spent like a month healing from a surgery, a recovery. You were on the brink of death. Um, but in that hospital, I remember mom telling me about like dogs coming to visit you and clowns coming to visit you, and you were like one of them little cancer patients, and and
And
so
I have a picture of a dummy coming to visit me, a ventriloquist dummy, and I was crying really hard because I was scared of
you chicken shit.
it.
Okay, so I think that's really the extent of the fucked up shit that happened to you when you were a kid, right? Is there? Am I missing something?
I mean, my first birthday, I guess, with the house burning down.
I haven't even talked about that on here. But again, that's something you're not going to remember. I was at school. You were too young to remember, and I think Brandon was, um, I don't know what, 4, 5, 2,
3 or 4.
2 or 3. If you were a year, he was 3.
Yeah, 3.
And so the story goes, my mom was home alone with Brandon and Fabian, and it was cold, obviously around December in Penasco. So she threw, she had a fire going in the fireplace and threw a bunch of wood chips in there. And I guess the wood chips somehow floated to the top, or the chimney was dirty or something. And it somehow caught the roof on fire. And then she was like, "We don't need no water. Let that motherfucker burn." And then it slowly caught the rest of the house on fire. And what I remember was leaving school that day and looking up on the hill from the valley and seeing this big plume of smoke and be like, "Oh, that's fucking crazy. That's a big old fire." And then, lo and behold, we pulled up to our house. The bus driver pulled up in front of our house and opened the door. And the fireman was like, "Bro, you can't let a kid out here. Do you not see that this house is burned down?" So he just took me up the road to the next bus stop, which was some people that I didn't know, and I just sat in these strangers' house until mom and dad came to pick me up. But yeah, we lost everything, our whole everything we owned went up in flames in that house. And that was
Didn't
19.
you turtle?
Yeah, don't talk about my turtle, bro. Don't fucking talk about my
You
turtle.
said you like turtles,
I
so
really do like turtles. So I had a little box turtle, and I guess mom forgot about him in the chaos of trying to get everybody out of the house, and we found him afterwards, and it was fucking sad, and I cried because that was my turtle. But we also lost all of our clothes. We lost all of our new Christmas presents, all of our furniture, pretty much everything we owned, and that was Christmas Day, 1989, if I'm not mistaken. Fucking wild. So this was the beginning of us being extremely poor and living in a camper for years and years and years. We lived with Roy and Melinda for like a month until we got the camper, and then moved into that, and crazy. And then we moved from there into a bigger camper and lived in that for a little while, and then we finally got an actual mobile home, and we lived in that until recently.
yeah.
So that the fire was next level. That was a wild thing to experience. And I know you didn't have much of an experience with it, but I remember when the bus was pulling up to our stop, there was a kid on the bus. Um, I don't remember his name, but I remember I don't like I I'll never forget his face. His face is burned into my memory, and he reminds me of like the bully kid, like the fat bully with a big old pig nose, like just a dickhead. And we pulled up to the house, and I was crying, obviously, because I was fucking petrified. I didn't know what was going on, but other than my house was burning down, and he looks at me and he tells me, "My family's not gonna help you with shit. We're not gonna give you nothing." And I was like, "I don't fucking care, dude. Like, I didn't ask." What a dickhead thing to say. But there was this really sweet lady, girl. I think she was like a grade ahead of me, and she had some Asian in her because the look, but she was so fucking nice, and without really ever have spoke to me before, she's like, "Don't worry, you're gonna be okay. Your family is what's important. Things can be replaced, and it'll be okay. I promise. And my family will help you." And I was like, "Damn, that will always stay burned in my memory too, because we were little kids. I was Jesus, like first or second grade. I was a little kid, and for somebody to say that of our age was like, wow, that's fucking impressive. Her parents did a good job.
You
Anyway,
had to have been 8 years old.
I don't know what that translates to school wise, but I don't know. I remember it was
Second grade, I think. Second or third.
second or third. It makes sense, yeah. Um, but yeah, what a crazy experience. Anyway, yeah, we had a really wild life. You more so than us. You fucking went through it, man. And of course, you don't fucking remember any of it. I could have just done this podcast
Probably
without
for
you.
the best.
No, that's true. Fucking trauma 101. But let's not diminish. That's the fucking word I was trying to find earlier. God damn it. All right. Anyway, let's not diminish the fact that you dealt with trauma throughout the rest of your life and later on.
I mean, it's an ongoing sequence. I think we all go through a lot of trauma in our lives. It's just how we deal with it.
I don't know that people go through the trauma you go through, but let's start with what I don't know, which is after graduation, when I was basically no longer part of the ongoings in the house. Tell me about your college experience. Let's start there. Let's start in college. You graduated high school, and I will say that you are the one and only of my brothers, at least on mom's side, who not only went to college but graduated with a degree. Uh, Tell me about that experience. You have some funny.
Most of college.
I'm sorry.
What was that?
No, I was just gonna
Most,
say you have some crazy stories from college and some funny stories from college, and I'm here for them. So let's get into that.
I mean, most of college was pretty awesome. There was at first it started off with waiting for Derek to graduate so he can join me in college. So I stayed at the community college in Santa Fe for 2 years.
Were you guys
And
planning
then
to go together?
Mom wanted us to go together.
Okay.
I don't think Derek wanted to go to NMSU though, and that's where I was set on going.
Right.
Mom was trying to convince me to go to UNM.
Now, real quick, you wanted to go to NMSU because of your specific program that you wanted, right?
Yeah, I wanted an animation degree, and at the time that I graduated high school, they still had video game design. So
Nice.
I really wanted to go into that,
Okay. But
but
then,
they dropped the video game design. I think the same year I was applying, so
of
I
course, they,
had to go to 3D animation instead.
because of course they did.
Yeah.
You're not using those degrees right now, nor have
I
you
mean,
ever professionally.
not to the extent that I'm making animations, but I am using part of what I've learned in college, and that's to help program with my manufacturing
Really?
company.
No kidding.
Yeah, I program welding programs, so
Ah, look at you. I
part
didn't
of the
know.
thing, but
Wow, I
yeah.
didn't know you actually used your degree. That's cool. That makes it that much better that you're paying off a fucking loan that keeps growing when you should be paying it down. That's wild. Um, we'll get into that too, but let's tell me about the college experience. You had freedom of reign from being around parents, guardians, family for the first time in your life, and you made bonds. Well, I talked to Phil, and Phil told the story of you guys making your guys' bond in high school. But well, junior high, I guess, right?
Middle school, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but
Seventh grade.
so you guys went to NMSU together and at least had somewhat of a support system for each other. What tell me about like the intricacies that nobody saw, with like about depression, about
Oh,
your partying habits, tell me about the nitty gritty.
um, I mean, the partying didn't start until after I was 21.
Really,
Uh,
you were a good boy.
yeah. So the first year or so, I didn't do anything. I pretended to drink once on film for our friend's sake. Like we sent him stupid videos of us acting stupid, and with a bottle of wild turkey that our other friend was actually drinking. um,
You
Anyways,
fucking dangerous man. You wild man.
we didn't drink any of that wild turkey. We didn't want it. The partying didn't start until my friend Marlo. She wanted to drink with me and my roommate at the time, so uh, we got some alcohol, and then I told her I'd never drinks, and it was the first time at her place. So she's like, "Well, everyone has to take a shot when they come to my place." So I was like, "All
there's
right, whatever."
there's
And it
always
was
those
like
people.
cheap Alverson's vodka or rum. No, it was rum. Cheap Alverson's rum
But why is
for
the
my
rum
first
gone?
shot. And then we also bought a 30 pack of Coors Light. We had a couple people over, but not too many. So by the end of the night, I think I had 12 Jello shots, 4 regular shots, and then like 8 beers. So that was
That
my first experience drinking.
that sounds disgusting.
It was.
Do
It
you know
was.
that the first time I actually got drunk was with Anthony Tapia? I mean, he didn't get drunk. He was driving, so he let me, but I think I had like, I don't know, 4 Coronas and 2 shots of Bacardi Limon, and I was fucking shit faced, like puking shit faced.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't the first time I had a beer. That was with you and Anthony Tapia.
No, 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 no. That's fake news.
Nope, at mom's house.
No, fake news never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Bro, those weren't beers. Those were fucking wine coolers and shit, dude.
And it was Coronitas or something. And I
Maybe.
didn't like them, so I gave them to Derek.
Maybe. Maybe. I'll still
And he
deny it.
had like 3 or 4 of them, was pretty drunk.
Oh God.
And
um,
I was just like not having it. So I was just playing video games off in the corner by myself.
did at one point well, at a few points in your college career, your drinking got out of control and got you into some trouble, right?
I mean, not very far into drinking. Um, I had some nachos that
No.
night. I drank basically a whole bottle of brandy by myself.
What the fuck is wrong
Um,
with you? How fucked up do you got to be to drink an entire bottle of brandy by yourself?
I mean, Phil had some, and Matt had some, but it wasn't like they had that much. They
No,
should have had more. Neither one really wanted to drink, so
what
I basically chugged it.
what size of bottle are you talking here?
It was a fifth.
The fuck is wrong
So
with you, bro? That's
no,
instant death right there. That's liver failure.
wasn't that bad really. Anyways, I threw up once, and it was mostly brandy, and then I threw up a second time, and the nachos were coming up, so I cut my throat on the way up, and that freaked both Phil and Matt out. So they called the ambulance, and the ambulance came and said, "All right, we're going to the hospital." And they measured my blood alcohol, and they had to drive around for a bit because it was too high.
What
You're
is
not allowed to go to the hospital if your blood alcohol is over a certain limit. So they had to drive around before they can take me to the actual hospital.
hold
Apparently,
on. What does that mean if it's too high? What the hospital is supposed to fix shit like that? What does that mean? Why wouldn't
I
they
don't
take you to
know.
the hospital?
They said that I was legally dead based on how much alcohol I consumed.
Yeah.
My BAC.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So why didn't they
I don't know
take you to
what
the
that.
hospital and pump your stomach?
Uh, I don't know. I was conscious, and they just wanted to talk to me through the experience or something. I don't know. I barely remember it because I was going in and out of stages of blackout.
Yeah, I would have been asleep. Nobody would have been able to wake me up. That's fucking
Yeah,
gnarly. Um, so when you finally got to the hospital, what happened?
they just took me up to an IV and set me on the bed and waited a few hours until I was more cognizant. And then they came and talked to me, and they're like, "Well, we think you might have an ulcer, but we didn't really want to test any of that without someone giving us a go ahead." I was like, "No, I think it's fine." So I left the hospital and couldn't remember Phil's phone number for him to come pick me up. So I walked all the way back to campus without shoes on.
Oh my god, dude.
It was like a mile and a half.
So you thought nachos cut your throat,
I'm almost positive that's what happened.
bro? You know that they get soft like really quickly, especially floating around in a bottle of fucking brandy.
I had already swallowed the nachos incorrectly when I was eating them.
Wait, you just fucking sticking whole ass nachos down your throat?
I always have problems with like hard shell things, tacos and nachos.
Maybe don't eat
I
them.
always eat them too fast.
I'm pretty sure that they were spot on with an ulcer assessment. I guarantee you got some shit going on in your stomach based on the shit that you and Phil eat. Yeah, you got some fucked up shit in there. Some of
Oh,
what you've eaten in the
it is
past,
so bad.
bro. I'm pretty sure that some of the shit you and Phil have eaten in the past, if you put it on your hand, it would just melt right through.
Nah, it's not that hot.
It's not that hot. Any of you out there ever been to Horseman's Haven and eat the level 5 shit? Yeah.
That's good stuff.
That is not good stuff. That's fucking chemical fucking fire in a bottle. That's acid.
It's not as bad as like the Carolina Reapers that we've had since.
Uh-huh. And tell me how that's good for your gut health. I'm sure you have no microbiome left. You've killed them all. They can't survive through that capsaicin level.
They can and they did.
The fuck they did. Okay, so there was other instances that happened to you in college. Your DUI on a bike. Tell me about that.
That was the first night I drank. I didn't get a DUI, but the cop could have charged me with a DUI. He
Okay.
very well was capable of doing so. I took my bike to my friend Marlo's place, and on the way back, because I had so much alcohol, I was trying to ride it, and I couldn't, for the life of me, keep it up. So I
Yeah,
kept falling on the ground.
that's what all of that alcohol for a rookie will do.
Yeah. So after a certain point, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to walk it. So I was walking across the street, and that's when the cop pulled me over. I was like 100 yards away from my apartment.
Uh,
And then it was pretty simple. He asked how old I was. I'm like 21. All right. Do you know where you came from? It was those apartments, Cervantes over there. I don't know exactly which one, but it was over there. He's like, okay. Well, where do you live? I live in that apartment right behind me. Well, I'm gonna let you go tonight, but if I get any more calls about you, I'm gonna have to arrest you. I'm like, okay.
Okay,
So I
bye.
went, I walked my bike right into the apartments and tossed it on the side there after I locked it up and went to bed. That was it.
We clearly see that you have a problem with alcohol. How much does that
In those
alcoholism?
early days, for sure.
I'm sorry, what?
In those early days, for sure.
Would you say that your problem with alcohol was an addiction thing, or was it a coping mechanism? What or were you just experimenting to the fucking extreme?
Uh, I'd say it was a little of all three.
Okay.
Like I felt like it became an addiction after a certain point, but it started out as a coping mechanism and experimenting.
Hmm, hmm.
So, like after maybe half a year of drinking, I think that's when the addiction started.
And what was the driving force, or I mean, obviously the addiction was the driving force, but what part of the addiction was it? Was it the flavor? Was it the habit? Was it the feeling? What were you addicted to as far as alcohol goes?
Uh, Probably mostly the feeling, um, but still being in somewhat of control of my body
The
up
fuck
to a
you?
certain extent.
You're crazy. I use that excuse for weed because I could actually function on weed. Alcohol, that's a whole nother fucking thing.
I felt like I had control until the moments when I would black out. So I found where that limit was and I stopped crossing that limit because I
But
like the feeling, but also being somewhat in control.
so you're like, okay, well, I'm addicted and I'm gonna keep drinking, just not as much.
Right.
Um, how
Which
long?
is still very heavy drinking because at the time I had a extreme limit. My limit was 18 beers, and that's where the blackout would start.
The fuck you think you are, Andre the Giant? Jesus Christ, dude! I like to drink a beer. Fucking chugging a
I never
keg.
got to the 100 range. My record was 24 beers in one night.
You're disgusting. That's absolutely gross, and I'm not proud of you.
Sure. I wasn't proud of me either.
Tell me about vulnerable experiences that you never wanted to have in college that happened to you unintentionally. You were very open and vulnerable and honest with me about something that happened to you that was trauma related, but um, without being too giving away too much of what you don't care to be out in the world. Tell me about that.
So in college, I gathered a lot of friends, a lot from every walk of life. One of these friends happened to be bisexual, or so he told me. And he's like, well, let's back up a little bit. At the time, I was still a virgin, and everyone and their mother there was trying to get me to not be a virgin anymore. He was one of those people. He said he knew like a lot of women that would probably sleep with me. So like, all right, whatever. I didn't believe him because no one ever was able to do that.
No one was
But I
ever
went
able to
along with
sleep
it.
with you.
No, convince someone that I wasn't awkward enough. Like, I'm awkward as hell. So I'm pretty sure that's why I stayed a virgin for so long.
Fair enough.
It wasn't like that I was trying to be pushy or anything like that. I try and be as respectful to women as possible. So most of the time I stayed away.
That's fair.
Anyways, this guy was convinced that he can get me uh, with someone. So he took me over to his place a few times. We just hung out. No one ever came. So I was like, all right, this is not going to happen. And then one of those nights is probably in October. It was cold that night. uh, he took me over, and I hadn't drank anything that night, but he's like, you're going to want to drink. This girl's really hot, and you don't want to bust your load right away.
Oh my
Like,
God.
okay. So he hands me a bottle of whiskey. I started drinking that. And he hands me a few beers and like so on and so forth until eventually I was sleepy. I wasn't even like really into uh, hanging out anymore. He's like, "Oh no, go lay down. I'll wake you up when things or when she comes over." I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go and lay down. I pass out, and then yes, I wake up in a lot of pain, and I wake up and immediately I'm angry because I'm in a lot of pain and I don't know why. So I jump out of the bed and uh, yeah, he was behind me uh, raping me. So I yelled at him and started walking out of his apartment. I started walking back towards campus, and he lived like 5 miles away. And then he picked me up and took me back, but I just didn't have anything to do with him after that.
Did you ever report him,
No,
and why?
because that's a big taboo in our society. So uh, guys should be able to handle themselves and not put them in uh, themselves in situations like that.
But there's also something to be said for manipulation and, you know, getting booze involved. And anyway, you woke up from it and mid act, or
Yeah, mid act.
how did you not beat the shit out of him?
I was tempted, but that's harder to disprove than his side of things. Like if I would have went to the cops and said he was raping me, in my eyes, I felt like the assault would have been easier to prove because
Oh, for
I
sure,
was
but
drunk and I was relaxed.
what?
So
Jesus Christ, dude! But I'm I don't. I'll never understand why you didn't report him, and you should have. Taboo or not, it's by not reporting him, it's sort of enabling him. I'm sure that it empowered him to feel like he could get away with it again if he tried.
I'm not sure. All I know is he's not alive anymore.
Oh, well, okay, there's that.
He was murdered.
Well, maybe somebody else had did not have the patience that you had.
Yeah, this was a few years ago. So maybe.
That's fucking wild. And was that the first and only time something like that happened to you?
No. After I graduated college, another person, I had him and a few friends over for a Thanksgiving dinner, and we were waiting for the turducken to cook. So I was waiting out in the living room. I passed out on the futon, and that time it was a molestation. He was doing stuff to me when I was sleeping, but it was uh, for my benefit. But I woke up, pushed him off, went to my room, and closed and locked the door.
That's wild that it happens to men and women, that other men, let's be real, the women who do shit like that are the minority in our society, but men feel the entitlement and empowerment that they can just take what they want from who they want when they want. And that's fucking crazy. I can't believe that happened to you twice in your life. Nothing even remotely close to that happened to me in my life. Not ever. To be fair, not that I'm aware of, you know. I did have my fair share of blackouts after graduating, so I don't know. Who knows? But nothing that was that obvious. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't wish that on anybody, and that's why I will always be a believer of an accusation over
Oh, for sure.
not.
For
But
sure.
more often than not, they're telling you the truth.
Of course.
And I think that's also part of our society where they downplay a lot of women's claims because uh, they respect the man and they think that respect should cross those bounds.
Yeah.
And they believe the man over the woman.
Yeah. It's very sad. It's I blame our patriarchal society and you know, especially the current political situation and climate that we live in, where women's rights are being taken away and women are being looked at as just inanimate objects or baby making machines, and that's all they're good for. You know, it's fucking sad. Our society needs a change.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell me, excuse me, Jesus, you graduated college with a degree in film.
Degree in animation, minor in film.
Animation, minor in film. Okay. And with that, you had intended on getting into the video game industry because that's a huge part of your life, right? That's like how you and Sarah bonded and all that. Um,
That's what kept me going through most of my early life,
yeah,
through the traumas.
yeah. Um, but you never made it into the industry. Do you still have ambition to maybe someday join that world?
I would love to, but at this point, I think it's more along the lines that I'd rather start my own thing than
Oh,
join a company.
oh, that's nice. Yeah, I can back that. That's cool. Um, you moved from Las Cruces to Colorado, which is where you live now. And what was the driver behind that?
There's quite a few things. Those two things that happened in Las Cruces, so that was one of the driving forces.
Sure.
Um, Also, the fact that I was drinking more and more there and becoming more and more depressed there. Those are big factors. And then the biggest thing that pushed me to actually do it was O'Reilly at the time was not treating me respectfully in my eyes. They're forcing me into a store that I didn't want to go to. I want to stay into my home store, and they forced me into one that was on the outskirts of town, farther away from me. And uh, not long after I was forced into that store, the manager of that store got arrested for threatening someone with a gun in the parking lot of Sam's Club. And they wanted me to be the store manager. And I was like, I'm going to move to Colorado in October. So I just picked a date and went with it and stuck to it.
So that move that you guys made, and it was you, Phil, and Remy, right?
Remy was already up here.
Oh, okay.
We visited her a couple months prior to the whole O'Reilly situation happening, and another friend as well. They both lived up here, so we loved it so much that I loved it so much that I said I'm going to move there. And then I told Phil the idea of moving here, and he's like, "Oh hell yeah!" And then I was talking to Remy on the phone, and she was all for it. She missed me that much, missed us, I should say, that much.
That's cool.
So
That's cool. Your move to Colorado, is that something you regret? You enjoy? You would do it all over again?
I would absolutely do it all over again. Don't have any regrets with that decision.
And do you see yourself moving out of there ever again, or you're there for life?
That's a tough call. I think I'm here for at least a long time. I don't know about forever,
Mm-hmm.
but a good portion of the rest of my life,
Yeah,
at the bare minimum.
You and we can talk about that. Why you're stuck there for a very, very long time. So,
I'm not stuck here.
well, why you're preferred to live there for a very long time.
Sure.
In your after your move, okay. Well, real quick, I wanted to ask you: did Colorado help with your depression and your drinking and all that stuff? Did that tone it all down?
Yeah. I mean, I still drink for. I wouldn't drink nearly as heavy,
That's good.
but I still drank a lot at the beginning. But when I got into my second relationship up here, I toned it down quite a bit to where it was basically minimal, maybe once a week, maybe once a month sometimes.
Nice. That's not something that alcoholics tend to do. So good on you. You also changed your diet via that relationship, right?
Yeah. Some point into that relationship, we both decided to go vegetarian, and I've stuck to it. I'm no longer in that relationship. She has not stuck to it. So
Whatever. But
each their own, but
yeah,
I've stuck to my guns on that one.
is that ever going to change?
Probably not.
Good. Love it. Because I will never change either. I'm quite content being vegetarian. I was
There's
having.
really no reason why people can't go vegetarian anymore.
Oh,
You
for
can get
sure.
all of the proteins that you need. The substitutes are amazing now.
Yeah, you can eat like a fat shit still, and all the unhealthy burgers and shit, but they are a little more healthy.
Me, I'm allergic to mushrooms, and I can still do it. So if I can do it, anyone else can.
um, I was thinking the other day and remembering one of the many trips we took to Vegas and all of our hardcore drinking. Was that alcohol? Was that alcoholism for you, or was that just a fun time?
That was just a fun time.
Okay.
I wasn't drinking for any particular reason there. That was just to hang out with you and Sarah.
Do you remember us walking up and down the strip and you collecting the cards?
Absolutely. It was so much
What,
fun.
dude? That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I don't know that I've ever laughed that hard than laughing at you and Sarah, because both of you guys, we were walking up and down the strip, and both of you guys were collecting the cards that those dudes were handing out, and then turning around and handing them back to them the same way they were handing them to you. And it was so they
Yeah,
would look at you so surprised. It was so fucking hilarious. What were
they
they?
get so pissed off at us because we're flicking them back at them like
What?
they were flicking to us.
What were they saying? What was the saying that they would say?
I don't remember, to be
Neither do I.
honest.
It was so fucking funny. I wish we could remember that. I wish we had better video back then, because I would have filmed that. That was so fucking funny. Um. Anyway, you. Okay. I want to talk about you lost your virginity in Colorado at the ripe old age of like 200 from a
Sure.
girl.
Sure.
Was that your first relationship up there?
uh, that happened outside of any relationship.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oddly
But you did have a
enough.
first.
My first two relationships.
So your first relationship up there was. I'm not sure I know about that person, or
And I don't think I told you
was
that much about that person. I mentioned her once,
okay. Was it a long
but
relationship?
yeah,
Anything?
that was like 6 months long. But she was only here like a handful of times. She kept going back to Nigeria, where her grandma lived.
Nigeria. That's fucking wild. Holy shit! How did you even meet that girl?
Online.
Wow, that's wild. And so you were actually in a relationship with her?
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't call it much of a relationship. Like I said, she was only here a handful of times, so we only hung out a handful of times.
Fair enough. But then you met your, now we'll just go ahead and blow the spoiler, your baby mama. Um, and you met her at a grocery store, if I understand correctly?
Yeah, she was working at Safeway, which is Albertsons in New Mexico. Well, I don't even know what New Mexico has anymore. I don't think they have Albertsons anymore.
Yes, we do.
Safeway?
No, we don't have Safeway. We
Oh,
have Albertsons.
all right. Well, it's the same thing.
um,
Same company.
how did that even develop?
Um, so I would see her whenever I would go into the store because I went in quite often, pretty much every night to get items to cook for dinner. And then she was always the checkout girl. So uh, eventually I started flirting with her because she was flirting with me first. And then I asked for her number and she's like, no. And then I looked shocked and I was like backing away. Okay. And then she's like, wait. And she gave me her number. What she didn't tell me was she was engaged at the time.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So she was at the end of that relationship. He wasn't like a great guy from what I understand. I don't know him or anything about him besides stuff that he did to her or tried to. And I was like, that's not cool, Kyle. Anyways, we stopped talking for like a year and then she no, I messaged her happy birthday because I remember her birthday. And then we started talking again.
And that initial start talking, that initial conversation led to a child and a 3-ish. How many years relationship?
A little over 3. Yeah.
Little over 3. We don't need to get into all the nitty gritty of the end of it, the separation, all that crazy stuff, because I feel like relationships that don't last for a reason, and everybody has their reasoning. It was cool for a while, and then until it wasn't, and then it got even worse off afterwards, which is fucking wild. But I just wanted to say, it's going to sound weird out of context, but I'm proud of you for standing your ground and um, standing on your morals, what you believe in, and it takes a strong man, because I've personally, in relationships in the past, bowed down and changed my laurels for somebody else's will, and that's basically what was happening to you, and you were like, no, I'm not going to change who I am, and so that's admirable. I appreciate it, and I respect that you were able to do that, and I'm proud of you for it.
It was just something I needed to do for me.
It's good. It's good. Now it ended somewhat peacefully. You guys still are in communication and whatnot. Um, you do have a kid who's now, geez, was she 2 years old almost, or just over two?
She's over 2. Yeah,
She's just over two.
2 years old.
That's fucking crazy. You are like an awkward person who I'd have never pictured being a dad, and you got a 2-year-old. That's fucking nuts. But
Me neither.
we have a trip coming up, which I'm excited about. So let's talk about that for a minute. You have only ever been out of the country once, right? You went to Oaxaca, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure, Oaxaca, Mexico.
And what grade was that?
8th grade.
How old are you?
13, 14. I don't remember.
Nice.
14, I think.
So you're a teenager. You left the country and went to Mexico, and now we're going to Italy and France, and it's going to be fucking epic. And we're flying business class, and we're going to take a cruise and do all of the fun international shit. How excited are you?
I'm pretty excited. I actually just got approved for my global entry, so
Nice.
the
Did-
process should be easy now.
Did you get added to your whatever you have to add it to, or did you get the approval email?
Yeah, they sent the email as soon as I got home from the interview.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was for us, bro. It makes such a huge difference when we're traveling. You'll see, like, coming back, maybe not as much in like layovers internationally, but being that we're flying directly back, it'll make a big difference when we get back, and leaving too, because we get whatever the fast pass is for domestic travel, we get that as part of the global entry. So okay, I'm gonna pause this right now because my phone's about to die. So let me charge it for about 10 minutes and call you back. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, I'll call you back.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hello.
Jello. Ja, ja, hallo.
Ja, that's good. Yeah.
Ja, das ist gut. And we're back. All right, so I don't want to take too much more of your time. I'm already taking a buttload of it, and I appreciate it. But I do want to finish up with talking a little bit about your so yours and Phil's lifelong experience. He kind of gave us some crazy stories, like you smashing your face into his windshield and breaking it, and
Good time.
good times. You guys formed your friendship in junior high, continued said friendship through high school, through college, and into the real world, where you guys are still friends and currently roommates.
Yes, sir.
It's obviously got to be a mutual friendship where you both care a lot about each other. Is there any plan for? I don't want to say separation because I don't want it to sound like you guys are like incapable of living apart. But are you? Do you guys plan on just being there for each other like that forever, like physically and in proximity, or is that just um was it just an act of convenience that you guys ended up where you're at?
I'd say it's probably a lifelong thing, but I don't know if we'll live together forever.
No. I'm
I don't
not
think
saying
that's.
live together. I just mean in close proximity to each other.
I would assume so. We've always been really close. I would consider him another brother.
For sure. Agreed. Um, so I want to talk about your guys' experience in COVID because Phil got you the job where you work, right?
Yeah.
And what you guys
I mean,
do.
kind of.
Okay, well, hold on. Explain that.
So they were already looking for people because they're still a fairly new company at the time.
Okay.
But the person that hired me, he actually saw me at O'Reilly a handful of times, and he's like, when I went in for the interview, he's like, I recognize you because you're the only one that was running back and forth getting customers out.
Nice.
Um, that's I didn't like people standing around, and we had one of the busiest stores up
Sure.
here. I think we did actually have the second busiest store.
Was that Estes Park?
No, that was Loveland.
Loveland. Oh, okay.
Uh,
And you're not
yeah,
in Loveland now, right? You're in Fort Collins.
right,
Which
right.
which one do you
Just
like?
20 minutes north. Um, I like the youth of Fort Collins, but I like
Hang on,
certain aspects of Loveland also.
I'm sorry. You said you like the what of Fort Collins?
Youth,
The youth.
like how young the city is.
Ah, yes, yes.
It feels more lively.
Oh, that's cool.
But I do like certain aspects of Loveland as well. I know Phil and Remy don't agree with me on some of the aspects of Loveland, but that's fine. We don't have to agree on everything.
So now back to what I was talking about, your COVID experience. You guys did something, your job was vital to, it was very important to COVID, and the progression in the right direction. It was very important to many people across the states and, to many people surviving COVID. Tell me about what you guys did, your contribution, and how it affected, or how it was beneficial to COVID.
At the time that COVID started, we were already making breathing circuits, mostly for vet companies and stuff like that, but we were trying to expand into the medical field. So we sold so many breathing circuits for the medical field. But on top of that, the job that I do, the welded quick disconnects, those were being sent to Germany at one point so they can start incorporating it in their vaccine trials.
Wow.
So
Um,
they can just disconnect them right away and then keep the fluids in.
you said, okay, and I'm not sure that we've even talked about it other than welding and shit like that. But what do you guys do at your business? Like, what is the business?
The business is manufacturing, but there's extrusion, there's injection molding, and then there's my stuff, which is welding quick disconnect assemblies together. It's plastic welding, so it's different than like regular welding. Not you don't have like a MIG welder next to you. It's Branson makes it. It's this thing that has a stack with a horn, and then it comes down and vibrates really fast and welds the plastic components together.
And are they reliable?
Yeah, they're. I mean, I've been there for 7 years now, and the only thing that we have to replace occasionally is the stack.
Huh? No, I wasn't talking about the machine. I was talking about the welds.
For the most part, they're reliable. It depends on the program. A lot of the programs that we currently use weren't developed by me. They were developed by an engineer that was one of his focus points. But a lot of those welds don't seem to be as reliable as the ones that I've made after the fact.
Interesting. Now for COVID, you guys were sending breathing. You said breathing what? Breathing
Circuits,
circuits. What?
breathing tube.
Just tubes. That's what a breathing circuit is. A tube.
It's several things put together. Like a breathing circuit as a unit is several different things. It could be an elbow attached to a tube that usually has another tube inside of it, so it doesn't get exposed to the outside elements. It
Oh
has
shit!
two corrugated tubes,
Wow.
and then that goes to the other side, which usually has like a filter, maybe a breathing bag. There's so many elements that go into a breathing circuit. So
And aside from Germany, where were you guys shipping all your stuff during COVID?
we shipped a lot to New York because they got hit really hard in a
Right.
lot of their hospitals there. We shipped quite a few to California as well. It was just everywhere at the time. Uh, we almost had 3 shifts for that line specifically. They wanted me to be the second shift lead for that line, but a lot of contracts fell through after COVID started like
Dying
dwindling
down.
down.
Crazy.
So
And do you like what you do?
I love what I do.
Nice.
I don't agree with everyone at my job, but who's going to agree with everyone at their jobs?
Sure. If you had the choice, though, would you rather be doing your gaming stuff?
Absolutely.
But for the meantime, this is good.
Yeah, it's a good spot to land. I like most of the people that I work with
And
directly.
you like the work itself.
Yeah, the work's a lot of fun, especially the fact that I get to program things and figure things out.
Yeah.
That's kind of
That's
like
cool. That's really
perfect.
impressive. You never told me any of that stuff, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive. You fucking computer programming some bitch.
It's not like a major program, but yeah, in minor programming.
That's cool, man. All right. Well, being that you've been so generous with your time, I'm gonna go ahead and let you get out of here, and we're gonna have a quick in-person ending to this here in the studio when you come in a couple months. But before then, real quick, give me your 5 to 10 year plan. What's your hopes, goals, aspirations for the next 5 to 10 years?
I don't really think about things like that because it never goes according to plan. So
I know you don't,
I
but you're gonna have to in this instance.
um, I plan to work down more of my student loan debt and
Real quick on that
yeah,
note, tell me about your student loans. How much was it when you graduated?
a little over 40,000.
And now what are you sitting
Like
at?
50.
So you've actually gained $8,000 in debt while paying the student loan off.
A lot of that time I wasn't actually paying on the loan because well, certain things caused me to not have enough income to pay on it. Like in Las Cruces, I was paying $25 a month, which is nothing.
Right.
So it was accumulating a lot of that debt during that time.
And that's just
Um,
interest, right? That's stacking
yeah,
up and adding to your debt.
yeah. Right now, they bumped up how much I have to pay based on my income. So it'll actually pay more of it down than interest is accruing where I'm sitting at.
For the first time in how many years? What year
It's
was it?
not for the first time, but it's the most it's ever been.
What year did you graduate again? Oh, 9, 10,
2014.
14? Yeah, like I said, 2014. And so in 12 years, you've gone up 8 grand and are barely starting to pay it down.
Yeah.
Fucking student loans. God damn. Okay, so anyway,
Yep.
you're gonna work on paying off student loans. What else?
Paying down, I don't think I'll pay it off in that time frame.
Well,
But on top of that, finish paying off my credit card, which shouldn't be too hard. I think there's only $1,000 left there.
good for you.
And then raise my daughter.
Mm-hmm. What about travel? You want to travel more?
I would love to travel more. I don't know how much of that I can do.
That's fair. That's fair, especially with a kid and crippling student loan debt.
There's logistics that come into all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah. All right. If anybody out there wants to follow you or is curious about you, where can they find you?
They can find me all over the internet as juantthree. It's JUANTTHREE. That's YouTube. I think that's my TikTok. I'm not entirely sure, but most of it's under that. So if you find my YouTube, that's probably the best place to follow me, really.
And if there's somebody listening who has a use for some of your creative welding projects and whatnot, or your plastic stuff, where can they find? Do you guys have a website or the business or?
They can go to aldenjames.com and search up Series Lock. That's my components.
EltonJohn.com?
Alden James.
Does spell that?
ELDEN.
Eldon, okay.
James.
EldonJames.com if you want to get some plastic shit. And what's your line?
Series Lock.
Series Lock. You fucking
Yeah.
gangster. Do you guys do 3D printing and shit too?
We do have a 3D printer. I don't think we sell any of our 3D prints though.
What are those for then?
Mostly in-house stuff that we like fixtures to help with my assemblies.
Oh,
They fit inside the 3D things that we print, and then other things that they do in the R&D room.
interesting. All right. Well, thank you for getting on here and sharing your vulnerability with us and talking to me and being the nerd that we all know you are. Appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you and traveling to another country with you. It's going to be a fucking blast, and I can't wait. And yeah, like I said, when we get you here in the studio, before we leave, we'll do a quick back and forth so people can get a good look at you live.
I am live.
No. Yeah, but you're live via the interwebs. I need you live on camera right here, sitting across from me.
So they can see the giant that I actually am.
Yeah, you fucking Bigfoot.
That's all you got.
I was trying to come up with something more clever, but again, I can't words. You put me on the spot. All right, Fabian. Well, I'm going to let you get going. Again, thank you for joining me. Appreciate you. Everybody out there, go like and subscribe to all of Fabian's shit. He's got a video of him and Sarah torturing me on his YouTube that fucking is years old, but is still funny to watch.
It's like 15 years old by this point.
Yeah. God damn, that's crazy. Like him on all social media. He posts some stuff sometimes. Not very frequently, but he does. What the fuck do you have a TikTok for then? Doom scrolling?
Mostly.
Nice.
I mean, I do have some stuff in my drafts. I just don't post them.
Fair enough. All right. Well, you have a good week, and it's nice talking to you. Can't wait to see you here in person and travel with you. Talk to you.
Talk to you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Hello?
The fuck are you doing?
Nothing. The fuck are you doing?
Nothing. You just said fuck.
Well, shit.
Do you have a tripod?
No.
Phil doesn't have one you can borrow for a minute? Or an hour?
I don't know.
Bro, why does your breath smell like poop? Did you eat fucking poop?
Probably because they ate poop.
Oh, that's not good. That's nobody yeah, we don't have time for that. Oh, look at that. It fucking works and it's perfection.
Right. I just don't know how to use a tripod like this.
You put
I was
your
used to
phone on
different
it and then
tripods.
you stand it up.
No kidding.
Yeah, kidding.
No way. No way. Or other way.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, see, it's good. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right, let's do this. I can see you and I can hear you clearly. So good job already. You're already doing fantastic. You're off to a good start.
No, we're off to a bad start.
Okay. I am recording there. I'm recording there. Good, good. Okay, let's get started. Here we go.